Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the business meetings for the City of Prattville. We have one public hearing tonight, and then we will move into our regular council agenda. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll for us?
Councilor Sanders. Here. Councilor Jackson. Here. Councilor Chambers. Here. Councilor Merritt. Here. Councilor Whaley. Councilor Stritchett. Here. Councilor Bean. Here.
Having a quorum present, I will read in public hearing item number 1. Item number 1 is a resolution to grant a special retail more than 30 days alcohol license for The Kitchen Table, LLC, doing business as The Kitchen Table. Is there anyone present who wishes to speak in favor of resolution number 1? If you can. Come ahead, please state your name and address for the city clerk. Sign in.
Leah Muir, 301 Wetumpka Street. Thanks. I really appreciate it. You should all come. It's a wonderful place. You'll enjoy it. It's I do great cooking classes and special events. So you'll have to book a time to come in and visit, and you'll be really happy that it's here. I'm bringing something new to Prattville.
Thank you, Ms. Muir. Is there anyone else present tonight who wishes to speak in favor of resolution number 1? Is there anyone present tonight who wishes to speak against resolution number 1? Hearing none, I will call this public hearing closed. At this time, we invite you to stand for our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation, which will be given by Councilor Merrick this evening.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for this wonderful community we have called Prattville, Alabama. Lord, thank you for our first responders, especially the last couple of days that happened in our community. Prayers to them for everything that they do to protect us. Prayers for the families that are going through this little rough time. As we approach the end of school year, please look after our seniors, congratulating the ones that are graduating high school in our city and throughout our county. Lord, bless them, look over them as they continue on their strive for their careers and their future and to lead us down the road. Lord, I pray for the Asian American and Pacific Island Heritage Month, where we honor these Asian Americans for the contributions and their national triumphs. We're woven in the fabric of republic, reminding us that the American spirit is one of resilience, independence, and relentless pursuit of freedom and opportunity. Lord, look over our friends and families as they travel throughout this weekend, coming into Memorial Day. It's a day of barbecues and family get-togethers, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing, but also remember that it's a day we honor our U.S. military personnel that we have lost their lives while serving for our country. And to just leave you with this, Lord, to quote John F. Kennedy's Prayer for Peace, Memorial Day of 1962, Americans may not only pay tribute to our honored dead, but also unite in prayer for success in our search for a just and lasting peace. The Lord, I say this as we pray. Amen.
Amen. Madam Clerk, will you call our roll, please?
Councilor Sanders. Here. Councilor Jackson. Here. Councilor Chambers. Here. Councilor Merritt. Here. Councilor Whaley. Councilor Stritchett. Here. Councilor Bean.
Here. Having a quorum present, I do call our meeting to order. The character trait of the month is compassion, which is investing whatever is necessary to show concern through words and actions. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the public hearing and the city council meeting of May the 6th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve these minutes? We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And these minutes are approved. At this time, we will welcome comments from persons present regarding tonight's agenda. We will have anyone that wishes to speak on items on tonight's agenda to line up against this right side wall to your right. You'll be asked to print your name and address, and then have 3 minutes to address the council on any item that is on tonight's agenda. There will be a secondary commentary time for anything that you want to speak about that is not being voted on tonight. But if you have something to discuss that we are voting on tonight, we ask that you speak now. Hearing none. Mr. Mayor, please come forward with your report.
If I might have a few points of privilege. Yes, sir, please. I'd like to invite our American Legion family up here for just a few moments. They have a lot of good news and information, and I appreciate their partnership that they've had with the city of Prattville for many, many years.
Thanks, boss.
Thank you.
Councilman, every time I show up here, two things happen. I bring you good news and I get promoted. I am now the commander of the state of Alabama for the American Legion. I would like to introduce you to the new Commander Pro Tem for the American Legion. This is Commander Charles Marsh. And he is going to be the one that's going to be doing some great things for Memorial Day.
So what I have here, folks, is, and Councilman Merrick, thank you for your prayer and the recognition of Memorial Day in your prayer. That was incredible. Thank you. But what I have here, invitations for Memorial Day celebration, which will be at 11 o'clock Monday in front of the courthouse. Formal invitations, and I hope to see you all there. Following the celebration, there will be a luncheon, as we always do, at American Legion Post 122, and I'd be glad to meet you.
And as Commander Marsh does that, as of today at 11 o'clock, the Department of Alabama American Legion Law Enforcement Officers of the Year are Prattville's Darrell Hall and Kelly Williams. Also, Firefighter of the Year is Prattville's Ricky Roberts. These law enforcement and firefighters, they will be given their honors and medals on the 29th of next month at our convention. And from that point, they will be afforded to the national to compete nationwide for firefighter and law enforcement officer of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. And if I might continue that, I'd like to ask for another point of privilege, and also ask that we have Julie Waldo to come forth, if she would, her and her family as well. Julie is, she's twice consecutive now, 2024 and 2025 Alabama High School Athletic Association 1A through 3A state individual low medalist golf champion. She has won over 40 junior golf tournaments as a middle and high schooler. She is verbally committed to play for Conference USA Jacksonville State entering 2026, and I think there's just such a recognition that's well worth her and her family coming forward and for us to recognize them, because that is no small feat. And so I would like to, and I don't know if you would like a moment to address anybody with a microphone. Probably not, but I do have. Mayor's coin. I hope that you will accept it, and I know you're going to continue to represent Prattville and moving forward in your life, and I hope you'll continue to remember your family here in Prattville. We'll also be watching you as you move up through the ranks, and we're just glad that you're a part of Prattville. So,
thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you. Family members? At least tonight we know where Waldo is, all right? Okay. And I'm going to take a quick look around the room.
Mr. Mayor, can you tell us where she plays high school golf?
Yes.
Alabama Christian Academy.
ACA. Okay, thank you so much. We were all talking about it up here.
And at RTJ all the time.
Yeah. And I also recommend Drive South down here. I haven't seen her there, but some other ones. But, and I'm sorry, I looked around the room first, and Mr. River, would you come forward with your family? And you probably hear all the metal around them. And I'm sorry, I looked around the room first, and I couldn't see y'all. But let's see, stand over here so the council can see you a little bit more. This is River Jones. He began wrestling with the Prattville Takedown Club in November of last year and training with Alpha Elite Wrestling Club in the offseason. River Jones has gone on to win the Alabama State Championship in Greco-style wrestling for his weight class. This past weekend, he competed with kids from all over the country at the Southern Throne Wrestling Tournament, where he earned All-American status for taking first place in folk-style wrestling. River cannot wait to become a Prattville Lion wrestler when he gets into junior high school. But I figure this, again, it's a great way for us to honor our Prattvilleans as they're moving up, and he's going to be representing us for many, many years. So let me get you something as well, please, sir. I hope as you continue on with your success in that, and you'll continue to remember Prattville, and I hope you guys are going to be around here for a long, long while.
Do you love Prattville?
Yeah, we all do so. Well, thank you. Can you get a quick photo op as well? All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, River.
Thank
See you on the mat. Well, he might take me now. I used to wrestle in junior high and then moved on to other things in life. But counselors, it's good to see everyone here again, especially Councilman Jackson. Glad that you're back from the north part of the state. And I know Michael Whaley was up here representing the city of Prattville as well. And I know he's having to take care of personal business, and I look forward to working with him in the near future as well. But counselors, last week we officially cut the ribbon for Stanley Jensen Stadium. This Thursday, Prattville High School will have the first official event in the new stadium by hosting their 2025 graduation ceremony. It will be my honor to be in attendance to support those graduates. Counselor Stritchett, would you like to share any further information on Stanley Jensen Stadium, or Stanley J as I like to call it, and Kevin Turner Field?
Yes, sir. Like you said, we had the ribbon cutting Friday afternoon around 4 o'clock, and opened it up to the public to do a tour of the concessions and field house and the restrooms and a few other places. Long coming project. Goes back 4, 5, 6 years, Kelly and I, and coming together and putting this together. And I just want to thank my constituents up here at the City Council, my Parks and Rec Committee, the rest of the council, Daniel Oakley and his team for helping with the finance, and of course Kelly and her team. Without them, it doesn't happen. So congratulations to everyone. It's going to be something spectacular for our community for generations to come. It's something that we'll be very proud of, and looking forward to graduation on Thursday, and looking forward to the home opener come August against Stanhope Elmore. So it's going to be a crazy night, but happy and proud of it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I know it was a great event. Glad it was so many people glad to see Stanley Jensen. And they're still, they have still a punch list they have to go through. There's still a little bit of work done, but we definitely will be there, and I hope the air conditioner is working outside on the field come Thursday evening. But counselors, I would like to repeat just a little bit that was mentioned up here by our American Legion compadres there. But the Prattville Police Department's Kelly Williams and DJ Hall, along with Ricky Roberts with the Prattville Fire Department, are recipients from the State American Legion Heroes Award. And again, if you see them out and about, please pat them on the back and thank them for all their good work. Councilors, resolution number 3 is to go ahead and lock in pricing for 7 new police SUVs. These items also have a long lead time that makes it necessary to go ahead and get these orders now. I appreciate the council understanding how supply chains have shaped how we have to budget and amend budgets, but thank you on that one. And councilors, I remember the days when our police department would crank up a vehicle at the beginning of shift and would not turn it off until they were ready to go home, because they had no knowledge if that vehicle would crank back up during the mid-shift. And so we've come a very long ways, and as y'all have heard me mention many, many times before, we are a mechanized, service-oriented organization. So thank you, and I hope everybody will support this. Our Togga Creek Improvement Committee had a grant application and project proposal submission to the Waterway Enhancement Program through the Alabama Scenic River Trail. It was selected and awarded $4,190 in grant funding for purchasing a portable launch system used along the Togga Creek Canoe Trail. I'd like to thank Don Russell for helping write and administer this grant through our partnership with ACIC. And just to give another shout out to ACIC, they have brought so much life to our little creek behind us, and it has brought in not only the family activities that we see along the bank, but up in the canoeing and kayaking up and down the creek as well, and also a tourism component as well. So their partnership has been very much appreciated and needed, and hopefully we'll continue to work with them for many years to come. Counselors as well, sometimes you hear me stand up here and say, I've got some good news and bad news. Well, I do, but it's not about paving this time. I want to provide an update on Fairview Avenue, and at this moment, Fairview Avenue is at a standstill due to some needed design revisions. Sane Associates, the engineer on duty, is having to make quite a few revisions on the project. Work is limited this week and should be back up next week, so please pardon our progress during this period of time. Also, I'd like to provide an update on the North Highland Park project. Ray Womack with Krebs has requested an email today to delay the project for additional time needed on several items of adjustment on that project. Good news, though. Good news on the traffic signal at Terra and McQueen Smith Road. Construction should start the week of June the 2nd, and construction usually takes about 4 weeks. And after it all gets up and going, the traffic lights will be setting the flashing mode, so that way everybody can get used to the signalization as it changes. To our seniors of Prattville, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, Pratt Pond is the place to be for the Senior Adult Fish Fest. Kicks off at 7 a.m. I was able to attend the Mayor's Fish Fest on Saturday, and I was able to hear quite a bit of squealing from all the little kids and grandparents and so many alike as a youngster pulling the fish out of the pond. And I don't know that you're going to hear quite as much squealing from the seniors there, but next year, if you can, please make it to the Kids Fest, Fish Fest. It does a heart and a soul good. Counselors, you've already heard, in partnership with the American Legion Post 122 and the VFW Post 1349, the annual Memorial Day wreath laying ceremony will be held Monday, May 26th at 11 a.m. in front of the Talcott County Courthouse. After the ceremony, the pool will officially open for Retro Pool Day, and I hope this will give everyone the opportunity to cool off and enjoy the holiday. And I would like to say that Memorial Day is a time to honor the courage and sacrifices of those who have given everything for our freedoms. It's not just a holiday. It's a solemn reminder of the cost of liberty, and I hope that we all can remember that. Also, to our educators, just a few more days, a few more hours, depending on, I guess, what school system. So I would like to thank all the educators in the room. I know we have 2 up here as elected officials, so thank y'all for what y'all do, and I know that's not an easy task, but thank you. Dividends will pay in the very near future. Counselors, in closing, I'd like to bring up about a project that you guys will be voting on tonight. It's on one hand been called the Genovations Project. It's also been called the Pratt Project, and I know there's been some conversations or comments made out in public about, why is this money being used for education? Because some folks just don't see this project as education related. But memory serves me very, very well that the conversations that former Councilman Albert Strickland and I had about the monies out of this 1 penny, and for the education bucket, as our finance director likes to call it, we had several conversations how important this project was, and also the library, and how they should be considered a part of the education component for the city of Prattville. So, Madam President, that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do any counselors have any questions or comments for the mayor? Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, 2 questions. Fairview, will you all have a plan to announce this on social media, on the city website about the delay?
I believe it's already out there.
Okay.
And, which they do have the barrels out there, and generally the barrels are, when they're out of the road, everybody is sort of happy. When they're in the road and blocking one lane, but yes, there'll be some notification, whether it's a digital billboard, but we will try to keep everybody informed through social media as well.
And you said this is a design, although a sidewalk?
No, it's not about the sidewalks. Not about the sidewalks. But I will piggyback off of that. I could not get my camera out quick enough. I was, when they were on site working, I was coming back up into town, and I got stopped by a school bus. And as they opened the door and swung out the gate, young lady stepped out of the, along several folks, but one young lady stepped out of the bus, got on a new sidewalk, walked up to her house, and so at least we know one person got home safe because of the sidewalks.
And the last question, you said there was an email from Ray Womack?
Yes, sir.
I missed that part.
Yes, sir.
You said there was an issue?
Yes, sir.
What was the email or?
I'll be glad to get
Okay,
that to
okay.
you. I mean, it was, again, a design issue. Definitely not being an engineer at all, but, and not being a historian. But I most certainly remember when the swimming pool was up there. No one that I can find remembers how the swimming pool was filled in. And so it was part of the project, which I think you've been a big champion about, is the covered area. And I think that is what really is a big concern because of nowadays with a lot of the engineering designs, they have to look at updraft of a building or an open structure like that, because if not, it will then turn into a kite, and we don't want that metal flying all around and everything else. But they are working working diligently to get that handled.
Do any other counselors have any questions or comments for the mayor? Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your report.
Thank you.
At this time, we will move into our reports from the council on special committees. Counselor Sanders, do you have a report? Counselor Jackson? Counselor Chambers?
No, ma'am.
Counselor Merrick?
No, ma'am.
Counselor Stritchett? And I have none. So at this time, we will welcome forward Mr. Oakley with a report on the state of our city finances.
Yes, ma'am. First page in your packet's a general fund revenue report, and it shows that we've received $36,683,655 for the fiscal year to date, and this represents a 1.15% increase over the same period in the prior year. The next page is a tax breakdown comparison, and on the tax side, we were down 7.8% when compared to the previous April. The next 3 pages show the general fund expenses broken down by department, and with 58 1/3% of the fiscal year complete, we have spent 63.3% of our budgeted expenditures in the general fund. Next page is the wastewater enterprise fund income statement. The wastewater fund generated a net income from operations of $708,297 for the month. And operating expenses are slightly over budget at 59.5%, while overall expenses are under budget at 56%. Next page is the sanitation enterprise fund income statement. And the sanitation fund reported a net loss of $5,097 for April. Operating expenses and overall expenses are under budget at 56.2% and 50% respectively. Next page is the judicial special revenue fund income statement, and it generated a net income of $16,908 for the month. Overall expenses continue to come in under budget at around 53%. Next page is the bank balances report, and it shows the total of all bank balances citywide at the end of April was $43,416,644. The last page in your packet's the accounts payable and debt balances report, and it shows the total outstanding AP and debt balance at the end of April was $53,162,154, while the city's non-enterprise fund debt was $22,339,154.
Thank you, Mr. Oakley, for your report. Do any counselors have any questions or comments for Mr. Oakley? Thank you so much. Tonight, we have the opportunity to create a consent agenda. Items that could fall on our consent agenda include Resolution Number 1, which is to grant a special retail more than 30 days alcohol license for the Kitchen Table LLC, doing business as the Kitchen Table. Resolution number 2, to authorize the city attorney to affix the cost for the removal of garbage and rubbish at 124 Warwick Drive. Resolution number 3, to authorize the city attorney to affix the cost for the removal of garbage and rubbish at 325 Festival Drive. Resolution number 4, to authorize the city attorney to affix the cost for the removal of garbage and rubbish at 413 New Moon Drive. Number 5 is a resolution to authorize the city attorney to affix the cost for the removal of garbage and rubbish at 711 Running Brook Circle. Number 6 is a resolution to declare the garbage and rubbish at 464 Dawson Street a public nuisance and authorize the mayor to abate and charge any incurred expenses pursuant to Chapter 46, City of Prattville Code of Ordinances. Resolution number 7 is to set a public hearing to declare the abundance of overgrown grass and weeds at 203 Azalea Drive, 1270 Cooper Avenue, and 105 Thames Drive to be unsafe and a public nuisance and order their abatement pursuant to Chapter 46, City of Prattville Code of Ordinances. Resolution number 8 is to set a public hearing for a lounge, retail liquor Class II package license for Alabama Enterprise One LLC doing business as Z Spirits. Resolution number 9 is to submit the 2024 Municipal Water Pollution Prevention, or MWPP, annual report for the Atauga Creek and Pine Creek wastewater treatment facilities to the Alabama Department of Environmental Management, or ADEM. Do I hear a motion to create such a consent agenda? We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of creating this consent agenda, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And the consent agenda is now before us. Do I hear a motion to adopt this consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none. All in favor of adopting the consent agenda, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And our consent agenda is adopted, which allows us to move into our regular agenda for tonight. So to start our regular agenda tonight, I'm going to be doing something that may be a little bit different to the audience. I will be doing what's called passing the gavel, which allows me to actually participate and read in a resolution. It's not a very common practice. Usually the president does not read in things, but because I've sponsored this and have strong feelings about it, I wish to actually participate in tonight by reading in resolution number 1. So I will be passing the gavel down to Pro Tem Strichik, who will in essence, take over as president for this one item, and he will run the meeting while I will read in resolution number 1. So, resolution number 1, I need to find it on my paperwork, because there we go. All right, resolution number 1 is, actually, Mr. Strichik, you want to read in the title first, and then I will read in resolution number 1.
Sure. Resolution number 1, to amend fiscal 2025 budget and to pledge and authorize funding for eligible expenses for the design and construction of the Pratt over 5 years for a total pledge not to exceed $2 million. Councilor Boone, would you introduce this resolution, please?
Yes, sir. Whereas the city of Prattville possesses a profound and unique history dating back to its founding in 1839. And whereas the Atauga County Heritage Association was founded in 1976 to create historical interest and educate the community about the benefits of preservation and the significance of the city's heritage. And whereas ACHA has embarked on a project to develop and construct the Pratt. And whereas the Pratt is envisioned as a museum, archival library, STEM education center, and an event venue in downtown Prattville. And whereas the City Council of the City of Prattville finds that the Pratt will serve and fulfill a valid public purpose through the services and opportunities it will provide to the citizens of the City of Prattville. And whereas the state of Alabama has allocated $2 million towards this project in the 2026 Education Trust Fund budget, and whereas the City of Prattville desires to pledge $2 million towards the design and construction of the Pratt. And whereas this pledge will consist of up to $400,000 per year, over 5 years, beginning with the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. And whereas the funding for said pledge will be paid from the education reserves of the 1-cent sales tax imposed via Ordinance Book 2021, page 21. And whereas the funding of the pledge will be on a reimbursement basis, whereby invoices for the design and construction of the Pratt are to be presented to the city's finance director for approval and release of funds. And whereas there shall be no obligation for funding in any fiscal year covered under the pledge should no eligible work be performed on the Pratt. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that fiscal year 2025 budget is hereby amended as follows. Increase community initiatives, the Pratt, $400,000. Decrease education 1 cent reserve, $400,000. Be it further resolved that the City Council hereby pledges to authorize and authorizes up to $400,000 annually for 5 years, beginning with the year ending September 30th, 2025, for eligible design and construction expenses on a reimbursement basis for the Pratt. Be it further resolved that any unspent pledge funds each year may be encumbered and rolled forward to a future year for the project, provided the future year is no later than the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2029. Be it further resolved that funds are approved and appropriated from the fiscal year 2025 budget line item Community Initiatives, the Pratt. Be it further resolved that the mayor and finance director are hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. So moved, Mr. Pro Tem.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Well, I have a couple questions. I just want to clarify some things, and I know we've discussed it. Councilor Boone and the mayor, you've discussed some of these things, but I just want some clarification for the people in the audience, people watching us on the stream, for the social media warriors out there. Daniel, the quarter of the penny, it's in the education fund. I hate to bring you back up, but real quick, I'll be brief. So we have the bucket, so to speak, for the quarter of the penny
Yes.
tax goes toward our education fund, and a percentage of it goes toward this reserve. What percentage of that quarter of the penny goes toward the reserve?
All right, let me explain this. Let me just start at the top.
Thank
So
you.
you have a 1 cent sales tax. Total value of it is around $9.3 million. We take 10% off the top, and that gets put into our general fund reserves bank account. So you've got 90% of the 1 cent sales tax remaining. That 90% is then divided into 4 equal buckets, one of which is the education bucket. And the education bucket then is subdivided into 25% of that bucket goes to the Central Alabama Community College currently. And that
Okay.
was a 5-year agreement. I think it expires in September 26.
Do
50%.
you need to answer that?
What?
Is that your phone?
It's not mine.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No. 50% of the education 1 cent bucket goes to the Ottawa County Board of Education. And then there was the remaining 25% has been unallocated to this point.
Okay.
And it has been accumulating in the Education Reserves Bank account. So that is where this resolution is proposing pulling for this Pratt project.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And Mr. Mayor, you mentioned earlier, and just to clarify, why is this considered an education project?
Well, the resolution here, I think, really does a good job of spelling some of that out, but then again, that is sometimes in the eye of the beholder. That is one reason why it's left up more to council to decide on, but again, I remember very vividly that former council Albert Striplin was very dedicated to this project and to the library as well. And so I think for very many reasons, I could name why it's education. But again, I think the resolution really does a good job of covering that.
And it's mentioned in here.
It's STEM program, correct?
Yeah, STEM education. They've got a lot of artifacts
Right.
that they'll have a library for. School, what's been pitched to us is school field trips, educational opportunities there. So, and the original resolution that implemented the 1 cent sales tax in 2021 left it somewhat vague for each bucket so that the council could decide with each, option presented to it. And it, at the time, was just educational related expenses within the corporate limits of the city of Prattville. It was subsequently amended to add in Prattville High School and the Technology Center, since at that time they were in the county. And then we've since passed a resolution for CAC and a resolution for the ACBOE.
Okay, perfect. And this $2 million, like we said, is going to be spread out over 5 years, $400,000 annually.
Yes, and that the portion of the
1%, right?
Is estimated for this current year to be about $522,000.
Okay.
So we've still got
A surplus.
large cushion, and because sales tax can be a little fickle. So
Okay. All right, that's all I had. Anybody else?
How much did you say was in the education reserve right now?
Actually, on the second to last, I didn't bring that back up here with me. Second to last page.
Oh. I'll give it to you. And the only reason I said that, because somebody asked.
So the education reserves, we have a separate bank account for each of these buckets. The education reserves 1 cent bucket currently has $2.2 million in it. So it's been accumulating since July of 21.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I'd like to make another comment, and, again, the way all this was set up, I think you've done an excellent job, yeoman's job on setting all this up. This was set up, the reserve account, as you want to call it, it was set up with the other portions of the 1 penny set aside for the public infrastructure, the education, the parks and recs, the public facilities. So this one portion of the bucket was set up basically with Genovation / the Pratt in mind. I know especially, and I bring it, Albert Stripling's name back up, but he was very supportive of this and the library as well. So in my mind's eye, that portion of the reserve was really set aside for these two or other items that the council deems worthy.
Everybody good? All right, let's move forward. All in favor of this resolution? Oh, sorry, do you have a question? Marcus?
Yeah, I want to make a statement. I know, like the mayor said, this is a very important project that was near and dear to the late Councilman Stripling and Mr. Etheridge. And I mean, Edgeworth, you and I have talked, and I'm very supportive of this. But I would like to ask at this time, if it's possible that you guys maybe designate some type of area after, in the name of Albert, because of, how special this project was to him. So I would hope that you guys would possibly consider naming an area of this venue after Albert Strickland and his family to make sure his legacy is remembered.
All in favor of this resolution, please raise your right hand. All opposed by a like sign? And the resolution is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Strick, for stepping in and allowing me that privilege tonight. Resolution number 2 is to amend the budget and authorize the release of funds for the purchase of lighting services through Alabama Power for the Spillway Park renovations project at a cost not to exceed $124,399.42. Counselor Strichick, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas Parks and Recreation has identified a need for lighting services around Spillway Park, and where it is the desire of the city to enter an agreement with Alabama Power to install and maintain said lighting services at a cost not to exceed $124,399.42. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the fiscal budget is hereby amended as follows. Decrease capital projects fund, City Hall Annex renovations, $124,399.42. Increase capital funds, Spillway Park improvements, $124,399.42. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to enter an agreement with Alabama Power for said lighting service at a cost not to exceed $124,399.42, and funds are approved and appropriated for fiscal budget 2025 budget line Capital Projects Fund, Spillway Park improvements. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion regarding resolution number 2? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution number 2, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 2 is adopted. Resolution number 3 is to authorize the release of funds for the purchase of 7 2025 police utility SUVs with installation and purchase installation of fleet emergency equipment under bid number 024012 for the police department at a cost not to exceed $388,080. Counselor Chambers, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas the police department has a need to purchase police utility SUVs, and whereas in Resolution Book 2024-A, page 206, on August 20, 2024, the City Council awarded bid number 012 to Stivers Ford Lincoln Incorporated for 2025 or newer police utility SUVs with installation and purchased installation of fleet emergency equipment. And whereas said bid is still valid, and whereas there is a several-month estimated lead time to receive and outfit said vehicles, thereby requiring approval to purchase in fiscal year 2025 and delivery and payment of said vehicles in fiscal year 2026. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the funds in the amount not to exceed $388,080 for the purchase of said vehicles are hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Stivers Ford Lincoln Incorporated, and said funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal year 2026 budget line item Police Department / capital outlay. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 3? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 3, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 3 is adopted. Resolution number 4 is to authorize the release of funds for the purchase of one Gravely Ovis 40-degree mower through the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative, contract number 112624-ACO from Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors, for urban management at a cost not to exceed $32,254.56. Counselor Merrick, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas urban management has identified a need to purchase one Gravely Ovis, I just drew a blank, 40 inch. Okay, I thought it was 40 inch.
I said degree.
That's right. And I was kind of got,
My glasses.
all right, 40-inch RC mower. And whereas said mower is available through the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative, contract number 112624-ACO from Live Oaks Outdoor LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors at a cost not to exceed $32,254.56. And whereas this is a budgeted expense in urban management, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that funds in the amount not to exceed $32,254.56 for the purchase of one said mower are hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors. And said funds are approved and appropriated for the fiscal year 2025 budget line interim item urban management capital outlay. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 4? Mr. Gandy, can you work with a 40-degree mower instead of a 40-inch mower? Sorry about that. This is just not my cup of tea. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 4, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And number 4 is adopted. Resolution number 5 is to authorize the mayor to enter into a construction engineering and inspection agreement with Krebs Engineering Incorporated for Comprehensive Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, compliance for downtown pedestrian paths and for the Transportation Alternative Program, TAP, project number TAPAA-TA24925, CPMS reference number 100077818 and 100077819 at a total cost not to exceed $62,000 with a net cost to the city not to exceed $12,400. Counselor Jackson, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Whereas in Resolution Book 2023B, page 239, on November the 7th, 2023, the City Council of the City of Prattville authorized the mayor to enter into an agreement with AlDOT for project number TAPAA-TA24925, CPMS reference number 100077818, and 1000-77819. And whereas the engineering department has identified a need for construction engineering and inspection services for said project, and whereas Krebs Engineering Incorporated has the expertise to provide said engineering services at a cost not to exceed $62,000, net cost to the city not to exceed $12,400, and whereas Section 3922D1 Code of Alabama 1975 as amended allows contracts to secure services with engineers possessing a high degree of professional skill to be let without bidding, and whereas this is a budgeted expense in the Capital Projects Fund, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the mayor is hereby authorized to enter into an agreement with Krebs Engineering Incorporated for construction engineering and inspection services and funds in the amount not to exceed $62,000. Net cost to the city not to exceed $12,400 are hereby approved and appropriated from fiscal year 2025 budget line item Capital Projects Fund downtown sidewalks. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 5? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 5, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 5 is adopted. Resolution number 6 is to authorize the release of funds for the purchase of 2 Wright 61-inch mowers from Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors, for the urban management at a cost not to exceed $22,856. Counselor Merrick, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas urban management has identified a need to purchase 2 Wright standard LG 61-inch mowers, and whereas said mowers are available from Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors, at a cost not to exceed $11,428 each, and whereas this is a budgeted expense in urban management, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that funds in an amount not to exceed $22,856 for the purchase of said mowers are hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Live Oaks Outdoors LLC, doing business as Prattville Outdoors, and said funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal year 2025 budget line item urban management dash capital outlay. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion regarding resolution number 6? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 6, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 6 is adopted. Resolution number 7 is to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with UniFirst Corporation for the employee uniform services through the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative Contract number 011124UFC until March 25th, 2028, at the approximate cost of $1,300 per week. Counselor Sanders, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas the City of Prattville has a need for employee rental uniforms, shop towels, mats, mops, handles, heads for certain departments, and whereas the current agreement authorized in Resolution Book 2024A, page 135, on June 4th, 2024, expires on May 22nd of 2025, and whereas UniFirst Corporation has the ability to provide said rental uniforms and supplies through Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative, contract number 011124-UFC, at an approximate cost of $1,300 per week. And whereas rental uniforms and supplies are budgeted departmental expenses, now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Prattville hereby authorizes the mayor to enter into an agreement with UniFirst Corporation until March 25th, 2028, for employee uniforms, rental mats, and supplies for various city departments. Be it further resolved that the City Council hereby approves and appropriates funding from fiscal year 2025 budget line item uniforms for the various departments. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion regarding resolution number 7? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 7, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. Resolution number 7 is adopted. Resolution number 8 is to authorize Civil Southeast to submit an application to the Alabama Department of Transportation, ALDOT, for the fiscal year 2026 Transportation Alternative Program, TAP, for sidewalk improvements along Washington Ferry Road, Selma Highway, and McGriff Street. Counselor Jackson, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Whereas the city of Prattville is interested in applying under ALDOT's fiscal year 2026 Transportation Alternative Program for sidewalk improvements along Washington Ferry Road, Selma Highway, and McGriff Street, and where Civil Southeast has the staff and expertise to prepare said application for the city. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that an application be submitted to ALDOT, and the City Council commits to all matching funds. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion on resolution number 8? All in favor of resolution number 8, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 8 is adopted. Resolution number 9 is to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Kinder Morgan Operating LLC and Products SE Pipeline Corporation to convey a permanent easement. Counselor Strichick, will you introduce this resolution for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas City of Prattville has worked with Kinder Morgan Operating LLC and Products SE Pipeline Corporation on a temporary workspace for the gas pipeline repair and upgrade in the East Main Pine Creek site. Whereas Kinder Morgan Operating LLC and Products SE Pipeline Corporation has a need for a permanent easement of 1,800 square feet with respect to northeast quarter of Section 15-T17 North, R16 East, PIN 1905-151-1001-001.005 for said project as indicated in Attachment A. Whereas the project, City of Prattville has the authority to grant easements over municipal property, whereas the City Council of the City of Prattville finds that it is a public interest to convey said easement. Now therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Prattville hereby authorize the mayor to enter an agreement with Kinder Morgan Operating LLC and Products SE Pipeline Corporation to convey said permanent easement for the gas pipeline repair and maintenance project. Be it further resolved that Kinder Morgan will reimburse the city of all related filing fees for this easement. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. So moved, Madam President.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. As this is a resolution of permanent nature, we will need to suspend the rules in order to vote on this item tonight. Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved. I make a motion to suspend the rules.
We have a motion. Could somebody second this, please?
Second.
We have a second. Madam Clerk, will you conduct a roll call vote, please?
Counselor Sanders? Counselor Jackson? Counselor Chambers? Counselor Merritt? Counselor Stritchett? Counselor Bean?
The rules are now suspended, and this resolution is properly before us. Is there any discussion regarding resolution number 9? Hearing none. All in favor of resolution number 9, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed by a like sign. And resolution number 9 is adopted. This does conclude our business items on the agenda tonight. At this time, we will welcome the public to come forward for any comments from persons present. If you wish to speak, we ask that you would line up on this to your right side, write your name on the podium and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the council. Hearing none. We'll move into closing comments. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am, and since we're moving so quickly into summertime, I just want to wish everyone a happy summer as it's coming up and school is getting out. Ask that everyone be careful as they're moving around the city with our potential of our youngsters out and about and enjoying some of the summertime. But also, again, happy Memorial Day, happy Memorial Weekend and day to all. I just want everybody to be safe, stay hydrated, and reflect on when you're having a meal, exactly how expensive that meal was to the ones who have given all so that we can enjoy the freedoms that we call home in the United States. Thank you.
Counselor Sanders.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I'd like to congratulate our new commanders at the state and local levels. I'd like to congratulate Julie and River on their state championships. Also wish all of you a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. I encourage each of you to take a moment and reflect on the sacrifices that was made for our country. I think we all know somebody that has served, and so just take a moment and reflect on that. Also, last but not least, I want to thank Miss Ann and Mr. Don and the many others that had a hand in the Pratt. I'm excited to see what this becomes, and just excited to have this in our community. So thank you.
Counselor Jackson.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Again, piggyback off of what Councilman Sanders said. Congratulations to Mr. Edgeworth and crew. We're excited about this project, and we look forward to the debut. Just wish everyone a safe and happy Memorial Day, and definitely while we're out eating barbecue and celebrating with friends, take the time out to honor and pay respect to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country.
Counselor Chambers.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to reiterate, Julie, River, congratulations again on your championships. That's exciting. Also excited about the Pratt, so I would like to thank them for their efforts, Don and Ann and everybody else there. Looking forward to that project, and also the American Legion. I appreciate the invite, and for the Memorial Day celebration. I do plan on being there, so thank you. I look forward to seeing you there. And also, I wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend, and thanks to everybody who has served, especially the ones who've passed on, and that especially that have paved the way for us to have the freedoms that we have today. Thank you.
Counselor Merritt.
Thank you. Just to piggyback, as we've said, congratulations on everything that's happened today. So excited about this project and continued success. Again, I want to thank our veterans, the ones that have served, the ones that are serving, the ones that we've lost, that made the ultimate sacrifice. We have great things here in this wonderful community. I don't want us to ever forget, that how we got this, and it's the things that we do in our community as well. And I'm so proud of this town. I'm so proud of you. I appreciate everybody that comes to the meetings. You don't have to do that. You could just sit there and bellyache and just, be at a water cooler, but you come here because you care. And so I greatly appreciate that. I want to put a challenge to my fellow council, as well as the mayor. I know he's there, to be at downtown Prattville Monday at 11 for our Memorial Day festivities. And if you do show up, I will make sure that I get you a hot dog and hamburger. But please be safe, and thank you.
Counselor Strutic.
And who's paying for that hot dog and hamburger, Tommy? Yeah, the Legion. Okay, so congratulations. Well, the people associated with the Pratt. I'm looking forward to visiting that facility, and maybe I'll have a grandchild take one day. I don't know. But anyway, congratulations, and young lady, the golf lady. Look, when you're gonna need a caddy when you get out of college and you're playing in our golf tournament here in Prattville, I don't know how much of a help I'll be, but I can carry a bag, so maybe at that time when you hit the big time, you'll 20%, however that works. I don't know how that. Anyway, congratulations everyone, and and I'm the son of a veteran, and absolutely all the people who's paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Thank you, and their families and their loved ones, and let's come together as a community on Monday, like Tommy said, and enjoy the day and the meeting, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. I would also like to congratulate those associated with the long-standing project of working towards the Pratt. As the mayor mentioned, this is not something that came up overnight. If we were talking about the time that Councilor Striplin had invested in supporting this, we're talking about something that has been planned and in the works for a very long time. As an educator, I will say that education is not solely K-12. K-12 is our foundation. It's important. but education encompasses so much more. And if we don't have more than K to 12, we're not doing enough. So education is at home, education is in the community, education is in our places of faith, and these are all important institutions that we need to look towards as well. We will have our next regularly scheduled meeting on Tuesday, June the 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. Do we have a motion to adjourn? So moved. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say yay. Yay. Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.
Stay safe.